Peace, peace, family. This your boy Young Pharaoh, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
This is Danielle LOLJK, and you're now watching Crumb TV.
Hey, this is Reggae Boy, and I'm watching Crumb TV.
Watching Crumb TV.
You are now watching Crumb TV.
This is Miss Diva, and you are watching Crumb TV.
You're now watching Crumb TV.
This is Lady Lee from Las Vegas. You're now watching Crumb TV. I love this shit. I'm watching right now.
Hey, you are now watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV.
Hey, we in Chicago, y'all, and y'all watching Crumb TV.
It's your brother, Timbuktu. I say.
You are now watching Crumb TV.
You in Chi-Town finest, you hear me? Inglewood, always up to no good.
Man, I'm telling my brother Crumb.
You're watching Crumb TV.
I'm your humble brother, and you are watching Crumb TV. Reporting live from the Wild Hunter, Southside Chicago.
And you now watching Crumb TV.
And you're watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV, baby. Hey.
Crumb TV.
If you could, please repeat after me. Peace, Ashe, Islam, Namaste, Hotep, Grand Rising, Assalamu alaikum, Walaikum salam. Bom dia. Oseo. Halito. Wagwan. What up, though? Rahubet. Shalom. Islam. Shalom. Jumbo. How are the children? Konnichiwa. Ni hao. What happened? So stay woke. Whatever the greeting is in your respective language, family, I am your humble brother Crumb here for another installation of Crumb TV. You already know what it is, family. This video is called Saint Peter is Satan. But listen, before we get into all of that, I want to do what I do best by putting some respect on your name by acknowledging the first responders. Now, within the first 3 minutes, there are more than 41 first responders. So for the sake of time, we'll just do the first three. And it'll actually be the first three members. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description on the Crumb TV YouTube channel. We're on several channels right now. So tap all the way in. So to put some respect on the name of the first responders, I'll acknowledge them. Let's go. Number one in the building, you already know what it is. It's Conscious Connect. She says, greetings, master students and disciples. Pen and pad ready. That's right, folks. Number two of this perfect trifecta, and I do want to emphasize perfect, is Solo 5000. He says, peace and love to the ancestors. That's right, family. The ancestors are back. Number three in the building of this perfect trifecta is Baby Girl. She says, spooky season without the spookism. You already know what it is, family. Absolutely. No question about it. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge a couple of the other members in the building. Mr. Vinagati says, peace, Crumb, and the chat. We see you, we love you, we appreciate you. We say in peace back. It's all love. Anybody know how much all is? Another one. D Nice. He says, what up, though? This is the family. You already know who it is. With the black fist. B1. He says, master students. What up, though, master students? We saying what up, though, back. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. We are grateful. Rising Phoenix, peace and light. Okay, I see you. Signs and symbols are truly for the conscious mind. We also have Ladera. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Ladera is so vogue. Y'all might know what that means, but she's got class. Let's put it that way. Also, we have Brother Heck. He says, what's up? I'm saying what's up back. I'm grateful to have you in the building. It's an honor as usual. I don't know if I did this one, but just in case I didn't, True King is always in the building. He says peace with the big Ashe, master students and disciples. We all are saying peace back. It's an honor to have you, brother. Last but not least, August Lyons says tapping in. That's right, family. You have to tap all the way in. No question about it. So without further ado, well, actually, here, family, I want to do something a little bit different tonight. I want to uh, put the, well, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. All right. So, family, this is the PowerPoint, occult Bible study. Family, I'm about to put Christianity on its head. So here we go. The first part is Peter, the best disciple. Before I tell you why Peter is Satan, we got to go and point out the position Peter is going to play. So he's the best disciple. Never forget, family, Peter is often considered one of Jesus's closest disciples and is frequently highlighted in the Gospels. He was part of Jesus's inner circle, witnessing key events and receiving special attention. Peter is the first of Jesus's followers to identify him as the Messiah. Go back when Jesus was questioning the disciples, he says, who do you say I am? Well, some people say you're this person, and some people say you're that person. And Jesus, like, okay, cool, no problem. But who do you say that I am? And the first person to identify Jesus as the Messiah was none other than Peter himself. So let's be clear: Peter was on it. He was A1 since day one. Peter performed the first miracle after Pentecost. After they unalived Jesus, Peter hit the ground running, and he was healing a lame beggar. So Peter was the first one to really tap in with the powers of Jesus after Jesus. Also, remember this, family. Peter was the first disciple with enough faith to walk on water with Jesus. Jesus walked on water, and if you recall that story, everybody was scared ishless, but Peter was like, hey, can I come out there with you? Just want to point out how Peter was really the best apostle. I'm sorry, excuse me, the best disciple. Peter was the only disciple to defend Jesus. Remember, he cut the right ear off of the king's soldier. He cut the right ear off of the king's soldier who tried to apprehend Jesus. But family, here, you know what? Just give me just a millisecond before I continue on. We have to stick to decorum. Without further ado, family, I want to introduce you guys to the man who obviously needs no introduction, the Minister of Information. Peace and love, Minister. How are you?
Peace and light, everybody. Peace and light, everyone. What's going on? We're in the building. Hey, listen. Yesterday was supposed to be the day for this measure, so I'm so glad you guys are joining us tonight on Monday. What is it? September 30th? I believe it is. Almost October.
Yes, sir.
I'm M.O.I. Misinformation. Always catch me cracking on Crumb TV. Over on TikTok, jumping like Jordan. I'm almost at 4,000 freaking people. That's close to 10,000. That's what I need. 10,000 on there by the end of the year. So I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Everywhere. M.O.I. Peace and love.
Absolutely, family. If you are rocking with the minister, which I expect that we all are, if you're rocking with the minister, please, 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 in the comments, drop the pen and paper emoji, drop the pen and the pad emoji, drop the pencil emoji, the paper, however you want to put the ensemble together. Pen and paper gang, tap all the way in. Okay, so with that said, Minister, I'll just rewind it for just like a hot second. We're only on slide number 7. Is that okay?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so I was going over the occult Bible study, and yes, you're correct. We do Bible studies on Sunday, but we missed yesterday. I apologize to the family. So we're doing Bible study tonight. Bible study, family. If you grew up in church, You already know Bible study is either Sunday morning before church or Wednesday night. So we're going to kind of be off kilter tonight, but it's all going to be in good
Facts.
faith.
That's
All right.
facts. That's facts. In fact, it's supposedly the day Jesus was raised from the dead, 3 days after Friday's Monday. So this is always right and exact.
Teach. Wow. Okay. Well, with that said, um, I was basically going over why I'm picking on Peter. Wow, somebody said, oh, not somebody, Mr. Samurai. His pencil. Oh, okay, that is a pencil. It looks like a crystal, but that's powerful. Pen and paper gang is definitely in the building. Peter is the best disciple, and this was my handful of reasons. Now, technically, it's Judas, but that's a whole different video. But according to the regular Bible, it's Peter, and I'll tell you why, Minister. Um, Peter is often considered one of the Jesus's closest disciples and is frequently highlighted in the gospel. He was part of Jesus's inner circle in witnessing key events and receiving special attention. So, Crumb, what do you mean? Well, first, Peter was the first of Jesus's followers to identify him as the Messiah. Remember when Jesus was like, "Who do you say that I am?" Well, some say that you're this person, and some say that you're really Michael Jackson. Well, okay, fine. Yeah, no problem. But who do you say that I am? Peter was the first one to say, okay, let's just give him a hot second because I don't want to start over a third time. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I like your smile. Do, do, do. That was Tevin Campbell. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. If I'm wrong and it's not Tevin Campbell, who was it? But I'm sure it was Tevin Campbell. Do, 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 do. You know what? I can't wait no more. I can't wait no longer. All right, so family, I'm just going to go on without the minister. He's going to have to catch the replay. So yeah, he the first one after Pentecost, he walked on water. He cut the ear off the soldier. And this is where I left off at. Jesus took 3 disciples with him to the transfiguration. That's back when Jesus transfigured into him, Moses, and I think it was Elijah. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, he took Peter, James, and John with him. These 3 were uniquely privileged to witness the transfiguration, and they formed Jesus's inner circle within the 12 disciples. So when I say the inner circle, I'm talking about Peter, James, and John. Those were the ones closest to Jesus, blah, blah, blah. So after the 3 received special privilege of seeing their master's glory, a dispute broke out among the 12 concerning their relevant ranks. After the other 9, 10, 11, 12, after the other 9 heard about what happened, they was tight. So according to the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 46, it reads, and an argument arose among them as to which of them was the greatest, because obviously they were jelly. In the hood, we call that jealous, because they didn't get to go, and and Peter and the gang did. Oh well, we're not down with Jesus for real, for real. Technically, no, you're not. Anyway, now that I've made my case of why Peter is the best disciple, I kind of gave you a little rundown right then. I thought the minister would be back by now. Let me check my text messages. Did he say anything? No, he hasn't said anything. His phone probably died, if I had to guess, or a bad signal. M.O.I was affected by Hurricane Helen. If you were affected by that hurricane, press 000. Some of y'all lights was already out before the hurricane. I'm just being silly. But anyway, yeah. If you were affected by Hurricane Helen, type in 000. I wasn't, but a lot of us were, including the minister. So shout out to the family. Stay safe, stay warm, stay dry. All right. So occult Bible study. Satan, Saint Peter is Satan, the Church of Zeus. So Jesus took Peter to the Church of Zeus, and there he told him to start a church for him. Just imagine if you and I went to a restaurant. I took you to this really nice restaurant, right? So you and I go to the restaurant and you and I eating. And I'd be like, you know, I really think about starting me a restaurant. Family, tell me why that's what Jesus did. When Jesus took Peter, he took him to Caesarea Philippi during the time of the New Testament. This is the depiction of Caesarea Philippi. You're going to see the cave. This is the far left at the very top. Well, not the very top, but well, actually here at the very bottom left-hand corner, it says shrine to Caesar, or that's the what Caesar means king. It was Augustus Caesar. And you're going to see that building look like a Congress house or something. And then right behind it, there's a cave. That cave is still there till this day. To this day, it's all still there to this day. Well, not the buildings, but the land. And then right beside it, it says the shrine to Pan. Then right beside that, it says the temple of Zeus, aka the church of Zeus. Right beside that was the dance floor of the sacred goats. That's a checkerboard floor. We can't see it here, but that's the Masonic dance floor. Anyway, Jesus took Peter to the church of Zeus and says to him, you know, I'm trying to start my own church. You want to be down with me? Crumb, you got to show me some receipts. So Caesarea Philippi is a city in the Bible that is mentioned in the New Testament Gospels of Matthew and Mark. It is significant because it was the site of several key events in the Bible, including dun, 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 Peter's confession. Peter declared that Jesus was the Christ. Jesus said, now, when he's at the church of Zeus, who do you say that I am? Well, some people say that you're really Tyler Perry. But no, yeah, but who do you say that I am? Peter's like, oh yeah, you're the Messiah. That was over here. Peter declared Jesus was the Christ, the Son of the living God. Next, Jesus promised Peter the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Jesus' statement about building his church, Jesus said, on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. Family, press 111 if when you're talking about Hades, you got to understand the opposite of Hades is Mount Olympus. He's over at the church of Zeus, and he don't say hell, he says Hades. Hades is the opposite of Mount Olympus. He's over at the church of Zeus talking about Hades and starting his own church and blah, blah, blah. This is according to Skynet. And in case I've lost anybody, family, can you tell the other family what movie reference am I what movie am I referencing when I call AI Skynet? Crumb, why you call AI Skynet? Family, tell them what movie I got that from. Anyway, it's called The Sanctuary of Pan. In the Sanctuary of Pan, you're going to see the Church of Zeus right there in the middle, the Sanctuary of Pan, the Temple of Augustus Caesar, the dance floor of Pan, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. That's where Jesus took Peter when he was like, I want to build my own church. Anyway, okay. So he says to Peter, who am I? Peter says, you're God, you're the Messiah. He says he wants to build his own church. So Peter's like, okay, bet. Sounds good to me. Vicar of Christ. Jesus gave Peter the keys to the kingdom of heaven, as we already said. And there he is, Peter and Jesus, with those keys. Jesus got those keys from hell. Remember, I told you he said Hades. Go to Revelations chapter 1, verse 18. I have the keys of death and of Hades. Jesus, you sound like you believe in Zeus and the gang. Why you say Hades? Why don't you just say hell like people in America today? Why do you say Hades? That sounds very uh pagan. Anyway, the keys of the kingdom of heaven made Peter the vicar of Christ. Question. This is me talking to me. Crumb, what is the vicar of Christ? Hey, Crumb, glad you asked. My grandma said, you can talk to yourself, just don't answer. Family, I be in this joint answering. Something wrong. Something wrong. Anyway, vicar of Christ. Noun in the Roman Catholic Church is the title of the Pope. Jesus made Peter the vicar of Christ. Jesus made Peter the very first Pope. What does vicar of Christ mean? This is according to Collins Dictionary in an article titled Vicar of Christ. Question, what does vicar of Christ mean? Answer, noun, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, comma, with reference to his claim to stand in the place of Jesus Christ and possess his authority in the church. Family, when you get authority of the house, the realtor, the landlord, whoever it is, they give you the keys. I got the keys. I think that was like a future song. I forgot who it was, but anyway, Jesus gave Peter the keys to his apartment. I'm just joking. The keys to heaven, and somewhere along the line, these keys to heaven was actually the keys of death and the keys of Hades. You get the keys to heaven. Here's the key to heaven. Here's the key to the garage, and here's the key to hell. I'm being silly. Bear with me. But anyway, yeah. So as the vicar of Christ, Peter was made the Pope of Jesus's church. Look at my source reference, family. This is Britannica.com, Encyclopedia Britannica. In an article titled St. Peter the Apostle, History, Facts, and Feast Day, it reads, Peter was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus. Roman Catholic tradition holds that Jesus established St. Peter as the very first pope. Crumb, you got a vivid imagination, and the way you interpret the scripture, that's your opinion. Family, this is not my opinion. Why do you take screenshots? Why don't you just write the information out? Because if I wrote the information out, somebody's going to say, well, that's your perspective. Well, that's your opinion. Well, that's how you see it. Well, I'm listen, I don't make the news. I just report it. Family, I do not make the news. I just report it. Y'all better tap all the way in. So yeah, it says Roman Catholic tradition holds that Jesus established St. Peter as the first pope, according to the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 18. Jesus also gave him the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 19, which is why he is often depicted at the gates of heaven in the art and popular culture. On Judgment Day, when it's time for you to go to heaven, at the pearly gates, reading the Akashic records or whatever, there's Peter. That's Peter at the door of heaven. I should have put that in the PowerPoint. Anyway, moving forward. So just to give you some confirmation of what I'm saying, Life Magazine adds confirmation as they put Pope Francis on the cover of their magazine with the subtitle, The Vicar of Christ, from St. Peter to today. So this is, just a confirmation from Life Magazine. I digress. Never forget, Martin Luther wrote, this teaching of the supremacy of the Pope shows forceful, finally, it happened to me right in front. Finally, he's back. Peace and love, minister. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, y'all. I apologize for that, man. I got family members down here in Conyers, Georgia. If you guys don't know the news right now, in Conyers, Georgia, a factory exploded, a chemical plant, and it has the whole area. If you're from Georgia or from the Atlanta area, Conyers, Gwinnett County area, like the fog from this chemical plant is blowing everywhere, and I got family over the area, so just making sure my family was great. They're gonna actually evacuate the area because the air quality is horrible between like Rockdale County, Gwinnett County, almost a Fulton County, like downtown Atlanta area. The air quality is like real horrible. So anybody in Atlanta area, man, Georgia, Conyers, sending prayers and thoughts to everybody. But I had to take that phone call real quick, so I apologize.
Oh, no, you're good. Family first. Yes, I forgot you are in Atlanta, Georgia. That is a true statement. In addition to that, y'all just had a huge chemical plant explode out there.
Yeah, it's real bad. And like the number one chemical right now in the atmosphere is I think it's ammonia and chlorine. Yeah, people are pretty bad.
Family, press 222 if this is probably what's going to happen to the black people out there after that chemical plant. After the chemical, and I'm not making light of it. Please forgive me, Minister. I apologize. But yeah, y'all gonna start. Huh?
Yeah. There you go. Come on. Go on. Listen. Hey, while you on this real quick, go ahead and release the pheromone, the chemical that activates that extra DNA strand.
Come on.
And then I think today's the 30th. So for another 15, 16 days, the supermoon gonna be out. The chemicals is hitting us with the chemicals. The supermoon gonna be out right now. Another hurricane's on its way. So I mean, hey, man, it's up, man. It's up. And the list from the indictment gonna be released tomorrow from Diddy's situation. Oh, and the piers about to strike. Everybody from Alabama, Mobile to New Jersey, all the pier people, dock workers, going to strike too at midnight. So any supplies you need, hey, it's over with. But Noble Drew Ali already told us though. Noble Drew Ali already said, make sure you have a 90-day food supply. It was already stated. So hopefully the Faithful Moors are already ready to go. I know I am. We are. We got our ammo shit together like 5 weeks ago. Ammo good. Food quantities are good. Dry storage is good. Non-perishable items. All in my garage stacked up. We got a go bag and everything.
Good.
Y'all better get ready. So anyway,
y'all better not upset M.O.I. because if he turned green out this joint, do not be surprised. I'm just joking.
It's a great series, by the way.
Yes. Very, very great series. The truth is said in jest. Okay, so with that said, I was just talking. I'll back up just one section. I'm not going to go back through the whole thing, but I will back up for one section. So the section we were on is Vicar of Christ. So Jesus gave Peter the keys to the kingdom of heaven. According to Revelations chapter 1, verse 18, Jesus says, I have the keys of death and of Hades. And it's just really funny he said Hades instead of hell because he's over there at the temple of Zeus while he's talking. And I showed that too. This is the temple of Zeus at Caesarea Philippi, where he is at. And you're going to see that I was talking to Skynet, and Skynet confirmed, yeah, it was all taking place over there at Caesarea Philippi, right down the street from the Latter-day Saint Church of Zeus. I'm just being funny. It was just the Temple of Zeus. But anyway, yeah, so Vicar of Christ. Yeah, so Jesus gives Peter the keys to the kingdom of heaven. These keys are not only the kingdom of heaven, these are the keys of death and the keys to Hades and the garage key. And I'm just being funny. Please bear with me, minister. But anyway, yeah, so when we say Vicar of Christ, it's just another title for the Pope. We just want to confirm that. Vicar of Christ is the Pope in reference to his claim to stand in the place of Jesus Christ and possess his authority here on earth. Just want to give a more detailed
But I'm sorry, but in that passage, it never said that. Like Jesus never said, "Listen, I'll be back, but while I'm gone, I need you to stand in my place for me." Like, and that was the conversation we had with the other guy that we had to debate with. I forgot the name of the clip we did. That was a really good clip situation, by the way. He just was standing on his principles, which was fine. You can't argue with believers. But there's an actual clip that I did when I had a not even a debate. It was just a tobacco with this Catholic believer. And for those of you guys don't know, the Catholic Church principles are steeped in the fact that the Pope is the vicar of Christ, and Peter was the first Pope, according to what they believe. If I'm saying that correctly.
Well, and that's where we're at. Not to cut your wisdom, but according to Britannica, this is Encyclopedia Britannica. It reads, the highlighted portion at least, Roman Catholic tradition holds that Jesus established Saint Peter as the first pope. So you're not alone in that. You're not rogue. You're not tweaking. This is the confirmation.
Right. So now Peter becomes the first pope, quote unquote pope, and a long line of successors take the position of Peter from this fabricated story. And I'm saying fabricated because there was no drone footage, there was no Diddy footage to show who was there at this situation. So now the principles of Catholicism says that Peter is the vicar. Peter is the first pope of Christ. Peter is Christ in place. Christ gave Peter the keys. I'm not sure if you got this far or not because I've been in and out, but where did Christ get the keys from? If we have not covered that yet, keep that question in mind. Where did he get the keys from? Was he just a fucking custodian or a janitor? Where did the keys come from that he gave to Peter? Is my question to you guys. And for any of my Navy people out there, those two keys together also represent something. There's also a rating or a job in the military, in the Navy, with two keys interlocked the same way. So these keys become significant because it was stated that Christ supposedly went to hell after the crucifixion to grab the keys from Satan. What do these keys represent? Is my question. As we go through this dialogue, keep that question in mind. Are you? Yeah. I think you're on mute, bro.
So sorry about that. I see some of the family getting ahead of me. The original popes were actually women oracles. God knows you're all wise, right, and exact, number one, but you are getting ahead of the class. But you are all wise, right, and exact. Let me continue on with that said. So I was just pointing out to the family, just more confirmation. Life magazine, I'm sure we're all familiar with that. It says Pope Francis, Vicar of Christ, from St. Peter to today, to this day. No apologies. I'm actually pointing you out as the master student. But nonetheless, yes. With that said, Martin Luther. This is what Martin Luther wrote. He said, "The teachings (parentheses or bracket) of the supremacy of the Pope, called the papacy, shows forcefully that the Pope is the very Antichrist." Crumb, why you go around saying Peter is Satan? That's you. No, never forget. Martin Luther said the same girl. He said the same thing. Who has exalted himself above and opposed himself against Christ because he won't permit Christians to be saved without his power, which nevertheless is nothing. He ain't got no power and is neither ordained nor commanded by God. Bro, Jesus told you that, not God. Jesus said that. God didn't say that. This is what Martin Luther said. Now, I want you to guys be honest with me. Don't lie to me, man. Most Black people have a Lutheran outlook, as we don't believe in the power of the Pope. If you have a Lutheran outlook and you agree at this level, just this level, if you agree that the Pope has no power, press 333. Well, Crumb, I ain't no Lutheran or nothing like that, but I do kind of agree though. Listen, I'm gonna lead this parade. I'm gonna press 333 because I kind of feel him on that. I'm gonna keep it 5 trillion with you. Moving on. This is from Faith Lutheran Church, Corning, New York. In an article titled Lutheran versus Catholic, it reads, unlike the Roman Catholic Church, Lutherans do not believe the office of the papacy, meaning the office of the Pope, as such has any divine authority, or that Christians need to submit to the Pope's authority to be true members of the visible church. I'm not saying you believe in God or you believe in the church or anything like that. But if you do not subscribe as a Christian or otherwise, that you got to go through the Pope, I expect you to press 333. And you don't have to, but even though most of the family already has, I'm in that same category. I believe there's certain people in my family. My mama's the biggest Christian out here. My mama, if there's a heaven, my mama going to heaven. If it's a heaven, she going to heaven. And my mama ain't doing no Hail Marys. She's not going to confessional booth. She's not giving the church. I'm sorry, the Pope anything. That's my personal outlook on it. I don't subscribe to any of it, but if I think about anybody who does, most of the people I know who I would say are good Christians, they not really banging with the Pope like that. Minister, what say ye?
No, I have to agree 100% with you. I mean, there's no disagreement with that. Unlike Roman, let me read this real quick. Unlike Roman Catholic Church, Lutherans do not believe in the office of papacy, or basically the Pope, as such a divine authority, or Christians need to submit to the Pope authority to be true members of visible church. And are you going to go over the? Some people may not know what the Lutheran movement is, or God,
Yeah, because
you got Martin. That's funny.
In the Black community, one of our greatest leaders, one of our greatest protesters,
Michael Luther,
was was Michael. This is according to Britannica. This is this isn't blackpower.com. We love Martin Luther King, blah, blah, blah. This is, Encyclopedia Britannica. It reads, along with Anglicism, along with the Reformed and the Presbyterian Calvinist churches, along with the Methodists and the Baptists. Remember, a lot of Black people, we came in as Baptists. Crumb, I don't believe in that. Well, but back when you did believe, you were probably a Baptist. I was a Baptist. Oh, here. Let me back up. In the listening audience, I don't care what you called yourself. Did you get baptized? Or did you believe to be a part of the official whatever you had to get baptized? If you believed you had to be baptized, drop the water emoji. Under whatever belief system you come from, if you believe that you had to be baptized, drop the water emoji. Family, my family said you got to get baptized. Minister, did your family say you got to get baptized?
Take me to the water, I think. Right? Take me to the water was the song. Take me to the water. Because see, here's their belief. They believe in the baptism as per John the Baptist. There was John the Evangelist and then John the Baptist. Talk to my Masons out there. They know what I'm talking about, right? John the Baptist was the baptism minister who expressed that a person could be reborn. Because the question was asked of Christ, how can a man be reborn if he's already born? He cannot enter into the womb for a second time. And then Jesus explained the fact of going underwater. So now we're talking about the symbology of water. Water represents a renewal. Like in Genesis chapter 1, when the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the deep of the water. The water represents a renewal of the contract, a maritime contract, like banks that control the currency. It's a whole process of this water ritual. But see, John had said about Jesus, John said, there's one who is coming. He's referring to Jesus. There's one who's coming whose sandals that I don't qualify to fulfill. I baptize you by water, John said, but Jesus baptized you by fire. One last thing. What was significant about the baptism with Jesus and John? What was significant? Jesus had no power at this point in time. There were no outstanding miracles performed by Jesus prior to the baptism. That's when he received his power and authority. Remember, before then, he was talking to the lady at the well and shoot her off. He said, by your belief, you're healed. I can't do shit. I don't have no power yet. So the baptism represents a lot of things. Okay. And I'm gonna say this one last thing. I'm gonna keep telling the audience. I'm gonna keep telling y'all, go study the last 3 great awakenings of America. I'm gonna keep saying it because Crum just told you about the most of the black ministers in the South became Southern Baptists. Prior to that, they were all Methodists. They were all Methodists.
Teach.
Paul was a Methodist preacher. What's the boy name got shot first? Christopher Addicts was a Methodist preacher. Sweet Father Divine, Methodist. Sweet Daddy Grace, Methodist. All of those clergymen of the cloth in the second and third Great Awakening were mostly Methodist preachers, and there's a reason for that. You don't get Southern Baptist. There was no Southern Baptist movement yet. This is at the peak of Calvinism. This is at the peak of Jehovah's Witness. This is you call it people that the Mormons just got started up at the third Great Awakening. The Moors just got started Great Awakening. Okay, Southern Baptists just got started post Civil War Great Awakening. So those are those movements you got to study, family. I'm telling y'all, man, this shit makes sense when you look at it. That's why this guy on the screen right here, Michael Luther Jr., who y'all call Martin Luther Jr., this guy represented one of the strongest movements of that time, which was the Southern Coalition movement. Okay, later it would be called SNCC. He was part of SNCC with Kwame Ture. That's why those early movements you see in the 60s of those Negroes marching along with those juicy people, it's about 2 or 3 of them in the audience. That's it though. They represent the Southern Conference, the Southern Christian, the Southern Baptist movement. It's what Martin Luther, out of Atlanta, Georgia in the 60s, you was Baptist, period. So a lot of those marches you see with Martin Luther King, those are all church members. Those are not regular folks. Regular folks weren't even with the movement at all at first. It was like, fuck all that. We gotta go to work. We ain't with that shit. You know what I'm saying? This was all a Baptist Christian leadership movement. That's why Reverend Jesse Jackson was involved. Reverend Al Sharpton was involved. Those are reverends, not political figures. I yield the floor.
Wow, very, very powerful. And just to confirm what the minister is saying, when you're dealing with these denominations, these are all Protestant denominations. TEACH. Okay. Yeah, these are all Protestant denominations. These were all the religious bodies that were protesting against the Catholic Church. And that's how we got into the mix with Michael, who we know as Martin. So just want to put that out there, because even though we're not Catholics, we still have a dog in the fight, because a lot of us came in as either initially Methodist or later on as Baptists. And it was interesting because he was the biggest protester in our time over on this side of the pond, versus Martin Luther, the original, was the biggest one on that side of the pond. Moving on, if that's okay.
No, that's all big facts you just said. Continue, please.
All right, so occult Bible study. St. Peter is Satan, the Catholic Church. So after Jesus gave Peter the keys to the condo, he says, this is what Jesus says: upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not be overpowered. Remember, The minister said, where did he get them keys from? You got to go back to Revelations. Revelations is before Genesis. I'm not going to go there tonight. The Bible is out of order. Revelations comes first, not Genesis.
I don't think they heard you, bro. Say that one more time. I think they missed that one.
The Bible is not in chronological order. In chronological order, Revelations comes first. So where did he get those keys from? According to the book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 18, those are the keys of death and the keys of Hades. That's Revelations. Now, let's go right here. Matthew 16:18, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades, he doesn't say hell, he's talking like a true Roman, talking like a believer of Zeus. Remember, the opposite of Hades is Mount Olympus. And the gates of Hades will not overpower it because we got the keys. We'll lock the devil out. Lock him out of heaven, lock him out of hell, because we got the keys. The landlord gave it to us. Anyway, I'm being silly. But yeah, so coincidentally, and I've seen people in the comments, as soon as I said it, they started tapping in. Wait, okay, here we go. Peter means rock. Let's just be very clear on that. Containing the element petros, meaning rock or stone, the name was given to the apostle to symbolize the solid foundation upon which the church would be built. Let me just kind of, because I was raised in the church, and I know a lot of us were. Family, his name wasn't Peter. Jesus gave him that name. What was his original name? Go. Gave him that name. What was his original name when Jesus first found him? I can tell some of y'all grandmas took y'all to church. Some of y'all grandmas had y'all in that church.
Just like Paul's name was Saul. His name wasn't even Paul. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Come on.
Some of y'all know some stuff. Well, let me put some respect on a family's name. Most of the family, the minister, when him and I are talking privately, he talks really high of you guys, meaning the master students, meaning the disciples, or the amalgamation, the master disciples. The minister talks very highly, like, listen, family, these people know some things. These aren't some neophytes. They're not Masonic initiates. And they're past the 33 degrees. But I digress. So in alignment with the scripture, because Jesus said, I'm going to build my church upon this rock, and the rock is Peter. In alignment with the scripture, the Catholic Church is built on the grave of Peter. The Catholic Church is built on the rock that Jesus told you about. Crumb, why do you say that? Well, let's check the Carfax. Let's go to St. Peter's Basilicatickets.com in an article titled Explore St. Peter's Tomb. Now, these are the tour guides or whatever for if you go over to Vatican City. It reads, after his execution, Peter was buried near the Vatican necropolis. In 326 AD, Emperor Constantine I ordered the construction of the Grand Basilica to honor St. Peter's martyrdom, which was built over his burial site. This is in line with what Jesus said. I'm going to build my church on Peter. They took that literal and built the church on top of the dude. And I'm not perpetuating any of this. I'm not. But I do remember a lot of people who discount the Bible. They'll say, hey, nobody in the Bible is real because you can't show me the grave sites of any of them. And 99.999% of that may be true. However, a lot of people make it known very clearly that there is one gravesite of one person from the Bible that they stand on business. I'm being funny when I say stand on business, but they're standing on his gravesite, which is the Vatican. Is built on a grave of Peter. Now that's never been confirmed, but that's just what they say. Did you want to ask something, Minister?
Yeah, I just want to tell people to understand when Christ says, "Upon this rock I build the church," or whatever the case is, I will build my church. Go back to the picture you was at the I think the Temple of Zeus. That whole
Right.
entire location is stone. Which rock? Not that he referred to Peter as the rock. He was talking about establishing a earthly church. Now, the word church can be misconstrued sometimes, but the origin of the word church is a Scottish word, kirk. Kirk. Church simply means a circle of brothers. On this rock, I will build my church, not expressing that Peter is the rock. Now, we know Peter go hammer time for Jesus. Jesus also told Peter at the Last Supper, along with Judas, he tells Peter, before the cock crows 3 times, you will deny who I am. And we can fast forward to the situation where Christ is being crucified or about to be crucified. A lady in the audience points out Peter as Jesus' homeboy, and Peter says, I don't know him. Peter denied Christ 3 times. Not that he denied Yeshua HaMashiach. Peter was denying an individual who they were portraying to be Christ. That was the denial. My point is this: Peter understood. He understood that he was not the physical church. So Peter isn't the physical church, but the Catholics create Peter as what's called a martyr. Peter is a martyr of the Catholic Church. Okay. Prior to Peter being even called the vicar of Christ or the first pope, there had to be an establishment of a Catholic Church. So y'all already know, like I'm coming with the fucking timelines. Okay. There was no Catholic Church in 326 AD. If you go and research when was the first Nicene Council, the first Nicene Council was just about to happen to even establish the ideology of the Christian church. Here's a question you ask yourself, who was the Caesar or who was the figurehead in 326 AD? It says Constantine. What do we know about Constantine? Well, Constantine didn't become a Christian until he gave over his donation, which was the spear of the sepulcher at the Council of Ferrara. Okay. And that took place before 326. So the point I'm making is it says in 326 AD, Emperor Constantine the first ordered the construction of the Grand Basilica to honor St. Peter when they did not have the entire ideology of what Christ was to be. Put it this way. This is 326 AD. The Bible is not printed until 1611. I'll move on. So if there's no Bible, how do we know what Jesus told Peter? If there's no written literature about this story, the story hadn't even been published yet. They're telling you in this passage that the building is being constructed before the literature is even being publicated. The public don't know about Peter yet. How else would they know about Peter until the Bible is printed? And you don't get the first version in English until around 1616 or 1611, they say. But the publication doesn't come out until later. Almost 700 years later? More than that. This is 326. 1616 is shit. Almost 1,000 years later, the book comes out. And why is the book important? Because no Christian will have a conversation with you without the book. I guarantee you, if you challenge any Christian to say, hey, let's talk about the church or Jesus without mentioning the book, there is no conversation without the book. The book validates the conversation. So we're conversing about Peter being the first pope without there being a book to even mention the Peter in the first place. I digress.
Wow. Well, when you put it like that, it starts to make a lot more sense, actually. And I wanted to mention real quick, if you are a member, this PowerPoint is in the community tab, so you can get the the PowerPoint that way. But nonetheless, so yeah, let's continue on. So, as I was saying, in alignment with the scripture, the Catholic Church was built on the grave of Peter. According to Quora.com, in an article titled, "Why exactly was St. Peter specifically buried in the Vatican?" It reads, "Is the Vatican built on Peter's grave?" Answer: It was the closest place to bury him. It was the other way around. The Vatican was built over the place of his burial. He was buried outside his place of execution, the Circus of Nero. Roman Christians venerated the place of burial. And if you know anything about the circus, what they called the circus was actually um, the Terradome. It was the Colosseum. This is where they would send Christians to be ate by the lions. That was called the circus. You give them bread and circus and they won't revolt. This is where Nike comes from. Just do it. Justinian killed all the Christians. I think Justinian came right after Nero, or no, I'm sorry, he was right before Nero. Excuse me. I digress. In case you want to add anything, Minister. Okay, let's continue on. Peter means father. Yes, thank you. As the minister was saying earlier, Shadow Band is confirming. Circe or circus is just same thing as church. Peter means father. Crumb, you're confusing me because you just said Peter means rock and stone. Well, according again to Quora.com in an article titled, "Does the name Peter originate from the Proto-Indo-European word potter?" Because remember, definitions change, origins don't. Can somebody type into the comments? Definitions change, origins don't. So it says, yes, the name Peter is believed to have originated from the Proto Indo European word for father, which is potter or pater. The name Peter is derived from the Greek name Petros, which means rock or stone. In the New Testament, Jesus gave Simon the name Peter, saying that he would be the rock upon the church, upon which upon which the Christian church would be built. Yes, that's right. Definitions change, origins don't. So I was talking to Skynet, and hopefully we all know what I mean when I say Skynet. Skynet was the AI in the movie Terminator. And Skynet said, the Pope is called the Holy Father. Remember, Peter means father. The Pope is called the Father as a title of respect for his role as the head of the Catholic Church and successor to Peter. The term father has multiple meanings in the context of the Catholic Church, including the word Pope. If you call him Peter, you're calling him Pope. If you call him Peter, Peter means father. Father means Pope. The word Pope comes from the Greek word papas, which means father. This is according to Skynet. I'm being funny. I mean AI, but you get it. The term father in the Bible mentions spiritual fatherhood, and St. Paul refers to himself as the father in his letters. Because this is the papacy, this is the Catholic Church. Peter means father. The term father is a monastic movement. In the monastic movement. The term father became prominent in the monastic movement and was later extended to the priest and bishops. The Pope's role as a spiritual father. The Pope is a spiritual father of the entire church on earth. And the title Holy Father honors the office and expresses the hope that the Pope will be holy. When addressing the Pope, it is customary to use the title Your Holiness or Holy Father. Many religious leaders are called Father. Family, press 555 if you're familiar with the term Baba. Don't lie to me, man. If you're not familiar, don't press 555. If you are familiar, press 555. If you're familiar with the term Baba, press 555. Oh, crown. Well, Peter means father, and father means pope, and this is the spiritual father. Well, Baba means father too. It's not exclusive to Peter. This doesn't start with Peter. It doesn't start in the Bible. It reads, Baba can be a surname in several cultures, such as the Dravidian, such as Japanese, such as the Turks, and Yoruba. It is also a nickname for father in some languages and translates to father in the Arabic, in Persian, and Shona languages. In various Slavic languages, Baba means an old lady, as in diminutive variative of Baba Shuka. But nonetheless, under normal, outside of the whole European jive, Baba is a father.
Which makes sense that that term will be used in West Africa interchangeably with the Portuguese and the Spanish and with the Arab. Those were the individuals that influenced that particular area of Africa with language and amongst other things like slavery. So it would make sense that word itself is not a Yoruba word, but a variation of language from the um, Arabic word, which derives from I think you had up there earlier um, Arab, and also the influence of the Persians. I think it was the Slav. Was it Slav before this? Am I misreading this stuff? Yeah, I think it's Slav. Yeah. Okay. So right there, it's a it's a translation. So the Turks conquered West Africa, and the Turks initially Ottomans, Persians, same thing. Arabics. So what they're showing you is the conquering nation of that area is not that it's a Yoruba word, but it was a word of the conquerors of that particular region of Africa, including the Turks, the Arabs, and the Persians. I just wanted to add that in there.
Wow, powerful. All right, so excuse me. We are at the 1 hour mark, and we try to keep it within that time frame. So I believe this is a good place. This PowerPoint is how many slides do we have? 72 slides. So we're at the halfway mark. We can come back to this tomorrow or maybe next Sunday or whatever the case may be. Now, I do want to say this. I do want to say this, family. If you want to continue the PowerPoint, because we are at the hour mark, but if you want to continue, I'm going to ask that you send a donation of support to keep this thing going. Amen, church. We want to pass the collection plate around. I would say at the end, but if this is the middle, then hey, let it be the middle. And let me just read off some of the names of the people who already support Crumb TV, because I believe this is probably going to be the end. And the goal tonight, just to put it out there, the goal is $150 for the church for the building fund. For the building fund. Y'all know about the building fund. Let me move to the side so y'all can see my horns. Excuse me. Do my horns look good? Okay, yeah, my horns look perfect. So for the building fund, the goal is $150. I want to acknowledge the family who has already supported. Stevie Maxwell. I didn't mean to read his last name. I'm sorry. My good brother Stevie. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Big Black Biscuit. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Excuse me. Who else we got in here? And these are all previous supporters, just to kind of make sure I clarify that. I am. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm looking. Merkaba House, Healing and Wellness Center. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. Jeremiah, Horace, Zoser, Curtis, Taisha, Melissa, Brandon, Daryl, Lisa, Donkey Butts. I never get enough of that name. It's different. So those are some of the people who have, and I guess tonight we would do, like, let's say the $20 challenge. I don't know. Um, is there one church? Is there one? I'm passing the collection plate, trying to be funny. Altar call. So for the family who wants this to continue on, uh, please show a pledge of support now or forever hold your peace, or maybe just until next Sunday, rather. Now, I do want to point out that the family is tapping in via YouTube, and you can do that as well. Super sticker, D Nice. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. That's another way to do it. Always humbled, always honored, always grateful. So, yeah. With that said, it looks like that's pretty much all we have. So I'll give it, let's say, about maybe 2 more minutes. And in that particular time, I'll say this as well. If you want to support, you can always support by smashing that like button. We have, let me see how many people are in here. It's 110 people and it's only 76 lights. So you can always yeah. Crumb TV One is the new Cash App. Crumb TV One is the new Cash App. Uh, uh, what are they called? Cash App took my old Cash App. I don't know why, but I called the customer service number. They said they weren't going to reinstate me, and they couldn't tell me why. And I'm like, okay, well, welcome to the future. Customer support is in India. Uh, God Noise tapped in as well. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. The family is coming through in a big way. Um, so this is what I'll say. Uh, just one more pledge of support, and we'll keep it going. Um, if not, I'm okay. There we go. We got it. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but oh, okay. So with that said, Al Kebalon for life. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you coming through in a big way. I say, with that said, we're going to tap the water, turn it to wine, keep this thing going. Is that okay, Minister? Can we continue?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. So Peter means father, and father, another name for father is Baba, because all of the religious leaders, their name is father. Babalawo. Babalawo in West Africa and Babalawo in the Caribbean and in South American Spanish, Babalawo in Brazilian Portuguese literally means father of secrets in the Yoruba language. It is a spiritual title that denotes a high priest of the Ifa oracle. And you're going to see, well, I don't think I put the oracle in here anymore, but when we're dealing with Peter, Peter was supposed to be an oracle, but we know that that's more so a woman's title. I digress. Um, I've said this once, I've said it twice, I'll say it 100 more times. The letter D and the letter T are the same letter. For the people in the back who may not have heard me, the letter D and the letter T are the same letter. Can somebody type in Ebonics? We don't go to the store. How do we pronounce THE in Ebonics, in the hood? We don't go to the store. In the hood, what do we say in Ebonics? I'll let you guys figure out. Thank you. Thank you, Ladera. We don't go to the store. We go to the store. So you probably think, oh, that's just hood, Crump. No, it's not hood. Because just like Peter is also Potter or Pater, it's also Padre. Padre, a noun of a priest or chaplain in some religions. The T and the D are interchangeable. Let me think of another example of how the T and the D are interchangeable. It'll come to me a little bit later, but let's continue on for the sake of time. Informal chaplain, type of Roman Catholic chaplain. There we go with the Roman Catholics again. In any of the armed services, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, literally father, priest, Pater. You see it right there, the bottom right hand corner. I don't know if you see where I'm reading at, but let's continue. Jupiter is the godfather. So I was talking to Skynet. Y'all know who Skynet is. Yes, the name Jupiter comes from the Proto-Italic word dejuice, meaning daddy. I'm sorry, meaning day or sky, and pater, meaning father. When people are, oh, you believe in a sky daddy? Yeah, like Jupiter, which translates to sky father. Jupiter name evolved from the ancient vocative compound Father Zeus and became Zeus Pater. And finally, Jupiter. Jew meaning God, Peter meaning father. And Crumb, I don't believe in Zeus. Well, you be reading that Bible, don't you? So I was talking to Skynet. Jupiter is the king of the Roman gods, the god of the sky and thunder. He was the chief deity of the Roman state religion during the Republican and imperial eras. Jupiter was also known by other names, including Jove and Optimus Prime. I'm joking. Optimus Maximus, which means all good, all powerful. Remember back in the day when your mama told you Zeus is good all the time and all the time Zeus is good? I'm being funny. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. That came from Zeus. Jupiter's most important title was Jupiter Optimus Maximus, which signified his role as the father of the gods. Crumb, I don't get it. Put it backwards. Oh, I see it. Godfather. Right. The Romans also believed that Jupiter was their greatest founding forefather and that he was the grandfather of Romulus and Remus. Go back and look when Jesus was talking to Peter and says, you know, I'm thinking about starting my own church. He was right here at the Church of Zeus. Look in the middle. That's the rock that Jesus was going to build his church on. Zeus built his church on the rock too. What a coinky dink. What a coinky dink, right? But let's get back on task.
Listen, I want to help stress this point that you're making very amazing points. If you could, after you make your point, pull up the Council of Lucida. I want to show them exactly what you just said. In history, human history, this is biblical fallacy, mythology, lore. I'm going to show you in human history what he just said is what happened. Human history.
Okay, I'll share it right now. Share window, boom. Let me make this thing a little bit bigger. Website using Lucida.
Council of Lucida.
Spell it.
I think it's Locidea.
Yeah, I thought it was a O.
Put council in front of it, should pop up, generate automatically with Google.
They're giving me a hard time. I'm gonna go to images. Council of Nicaea, Council of Lucida. There we go. First Council of Nicaea. I'm take out Nicaea. European Jesus, stop playing with me. At the Council of Lucida.
I feel like Google get more difficult as we get smarter. So,
all of the council meetings of Constantine.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be on the Constantine. Yeah, it ain't gonna be Constantine. So, the Council of Lucida lines up parallel with Paul. It's called the Epistles to the Romans. This is Paul appeasing or trying to get the Romans to convert into Judaism. But the Romans, or let's say Greco-Romans, at this time, we're talking about Jupiter, talking about Zeus. These are two different deities from two different pantheons of Greek and Roman deities. So at this time period, the Greco-Roman era is what's called in the Hellenistic period. Okay, this is before the ideology of what was known as monotheism, something alluding to believing in spirituality, but not the man. There was a lot going on in that time period. So the point I'm making is, in the Hellenistic period, this is when the identity of the Almighty Zeus got merged with Jupiter, and it became Jesus, or what you formerly called Jesus, modeled after Serapis Christos, who is the Soter. You just said the word Soter earlier, dealing with, I think Constantine, somebody like that, is a Soter. Soter means savior. Okay, the Pope is a Soter, the savior. So at this time period, the Council of Ceda was when the Romans and the Grecians were trying to figure out how can they amalgamate their belief into this new Judaistic belief system without losing their part of it. So this is where Catholicism is born, out of them trying to merge the two. So anyway, at the Council of Ceda, they removed some canons from the Bible. 60 canons were removed. Thank you for showing that. And they also then converted the original Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday at this council meeting. But this is the same Romans and the Grecians that Crum is talking about. They're trying to rationalize and trying to figure out, how do we convert without contemporarying what we already believe in, which is Hellenistic, right? Now you had what was called monotheism, a monotheletism, okay? And that was just the believer in the nature of Christ, and then the believer in Christ is God and human at the same time. So monotheistic and monotheletism happened. This is human history talking about. So the Council of Ceda is when the Romans decided, we'll do this juicy belief, but we got to add some rules to this shit. We're going to remove 60 canons from this book because we don't agree with what they're talking about in this book. Okay. And we also going to change the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. Can we agree to that? And all the Romans and the Grecians agreed to that. And boom, that was your Catholicism. And Catholic just means universal church, by the way. And everybody throughout Rome in Northern Europe who would not convert to this new religion, they called them heathens. Look up what a heathen is. A heathen is a country, person around the country to themselves. I don't want anything to do with that. Shit sounds crazy. I don't want to do it. So you were heathen then. And the heathen became a negative connotation in history. But the heathens and the pagans were the ones who did not convert to this new founded religion under Catholicism or the Greco-Roman, and then what's called the Council of Ceda. It says the Council of Ceda was a regional Christian synod that took place in Losida. What's that say? The Pygra?
The Phrygia.
Phrygia,
Yeah.
Pisidia, around 363 and 364. The council was made of about 30 clerics from Asia Minor. Now, if there's an Asia Minor, there's an Asia Major. Okay, keep that in there. Look at the words they're using, family. You see Asia Minor, that's Little Asia. Then what the hell is Little Asia? Make note of that. All my disciples, make note of that Asia Minor. Look up Asia Minor, Asia Major. What's that, Asia Minor?
Yeah, Asia Minor is just the peninsula of Turkey.
Now, all of your council meetings are going to take place right here. The Council of Nicaea 1, the Council of Nicaea 2, the Council of Ephesus, the Council of Chalcedon. The only one that takes place is the Council of Ferrara, which takes place in Spain a little bit later. So these council meetings that are being overseen by Constantine. Constantine ain't got no authority to call no council meetings. He ain't over. There is no church at this point. Okay, you got the Greeks still dealing with Jupiter, as Crom is telling you. You got the Romans who still dealing with Zeus, as he's mentioning also Zeus, right? And that's why the Romans are even mentioned. The book of Romans are even mentioned in the Bible. That's why Jesus is at this particular location with this temple called Zeus. And that's why Jesus said, pay unto Caesar what is Caesar. Constantine was a Caesar. He was just a military Caesar. Jesus is telling you, like, them Romans, man, hey, look, man, give niggas what y'all owe them. Pay unto Caesar what is Caesar. Because the Juices were the clergymen for the Roman Empire. They kept the books. They kept the books balanced. They did the taxes. They were the lawyers. They were the attorneys, like they are now. They were the barons. They were the bankers. What was known back then as Dehemi banking. If you look it up, they were Dehemi bankers. So they kept the books for the Roman Empire. The mercenaries for the Roman Empire were the Visigoths and the Vandals, not the Romans themselves. The point I'm making is, if you follow history, human history, it points out everything that I'm telling you right now. The cannons were removed. Great debate between the people. And they decided that Sunday will now be the new day of worship. Even though Yeshua HaMashiach, or Adonai, said, there shall not change the law of God, not one jot, not one tittle. The Romans said, fuck that. We're going to go with Sunday now. We're going with Sunday. I know y'all had Saturday. Y'all keep doing Saturday. We're going to do Sunday. Is that cool with y'all? And the Juices was like, it's cool only if you publish that you killed this imposter. Because the Juices did not unalive Yeshua. The Romans unalive Yeshua. But there was a conversation between the Juices and the Romans, remember? Pilate was like, Jesus went to 13 court cases before he came back. He went to Pilate twice. Did y'all know that? He went to 13 trials. Then he came back to Pilate. And Pilate's wife said, don't touch that man. That man did nothing wrong to you. And Pilate put his hand in a bowl of water and ripped his shirt and said, I can't, I'm done with this. I can't have blood on my hands from this innocent man. Talking about Yeshua HaMashiach, or Jesus the Christ at that time, right? So there's always was a Roman background. Even in the Bible, it was a Roman background. There was a Greco-Roman background. The New Testament is Greek. The Old Testament is Hebrew. Your Bible is a Hebrew, Greco-Roman publication. And that's what I've been saying to y'all for the longest. Desiderius Erasmus in 1516 translated the Vulgate, okay, which is the Latinized version. Prior to the Vulgate, something called the Septuagint. Some say Septuaginta for whatever reason, but Septuagint, the Vulgate. Desiderius Erasmus gives you the first publication in the King's English in 1516, then in 1519, 1535. That's human history as it is written about this story, right? We're talking to you about the biblical narrative. Don't confuse human history with Bible history, what they call theology. Do not confuse human history with theology. There is a human history that goes with the story he's telling you. And that's why I'm giving you the entire background. Because otherwise, he's just going through PowerPoints and you're just fucking listening. And that's cool. That's okay. But I'm here to add value to what he's saying to show you the whole entire picture. Yes, Peter received the so-called keys. Where did the keys come from? Why is Jesus being mentioned with keys multiple times in the Bible? Who keys are these? They're the keys of Satan, who you call Lucifer. Because Lucifer already said in Matthew 4 that when he took Jesus to the highest mountain, he told Jesus, if you bow to me, I will give you all the kingdoms of earth that was given to me. First question, like I always ask y'all to think about this question. Who gave Lucifer the kingdoms? And in order for you to have a kingdom, you must be a what? King, because the second part of kingdom means dominion. The first part is king. Well, who is the king of this dominion? Lucifer is. And that's why it tells you in the scriptures in Corinthians 4 that who the God of this earth is. It's his. Why is this craziness going? These sex rings and child trafficking. Do you know where you at? Do you know where you are? Do you know where you at? And that's why Jesus tell you be in it, but not of it. Be in the world, but not of the world. Jesus says, be careful that nobody deceives you. Jesus was giving up game when he was here. Y'all was don't listen to what the man was. He was giving up pure gain. Pure gain. So as we're going through this tonight with y'all, take this shit just as serious. This is pure game. This is not for entertainment purposes only. This is for educational purposes. We got better stuff we could be doing right now. Like, we both got children. It's school night. We're trying to give y'all the game on what happened and what's going on so you know what time it is. Y'all see what's happening in the world. Ain't but a couple. Ain't but a couple. I can count on one hand how many people on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook that's been giving y'all the truth for the last, 6, 7, 8, 9 years plus. I count on one hand and I have fingers left over. So pay attention, family. I yield the floor.
And just to add value to what the minister is saying, then I'll go back to the PowerPoint. In the beginning, we know that Satan was sent to this world. Remember, there was a light in the world before the sun was made. In the beginning, I'm talking Genesis chapter 1, God created the light, then God created the sun. That light was Lucifer. So maybe you knew that, maybe you didn't. I don't know. But
that's facts. That's facts. Continue, please.
Jupiter's the most prominent title. Okay, yeah, we read that one. Yes, Jesus, okay, because now we're dealing with the evil father in the synagogue of Satan. Yes, this is according to Skynet. Y'all know my best buddy is Skynet, the evil Terminator AI machine. Yes, Jesus told the Pharisees that he knows who their father is. We know who Peter is. Peter is Satan. We know that already. Never forget, as soon as Jesus gives him the keys, what did Jesus say? Hold on. Do I have it? Oh, I haven't got there yet. Sorry. But yeah, okay, let's get back to it. Sorry. Yes, Jesus told the Pharisees that he knows who their father is in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 19, which reads, "You know neither me nor my Father, because if you knew me, you would know my Father also." The Cash App is money sign Crumb TV 1. They took my old Cash App. It's money sign Crumb TV 1, the number 1, not the word. Thank you so much, D Nice. In this verse, Jesus responds to the Pharisees' question, "Where is your father?" "I's the daddy. I's the pappy." What movie am I referencing, people? Because you know I'm goofy with these movies. "I's the daddy. I's the pappy. I's the daddy." What movie is that? Come on, family. Y'all about to lose y'all black card if you get it wrong too. I'm being funny. But anyway, yeah. In this verse, Jesus responds to the Pharisees' questions. "Where is your father?" by saying that if they knew him, they would also know his father. Jesus also said, "If I glorify myself, my glory means nothing. My Father, whom you claim as your God, is the one who glorifies me." What father are they talking about? After giving Peter the keys to heaven, Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan." So you telling me he's your best? Okay? This is the question. Who do you say that I am? "Well, some people say that you really Joe Biden." Yeah. I know. But who do you say that I am? Peter taps in. "Oh yeah, you the Messiah." Ding, 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 ding. All right, cool. Right answer. So then Jesus pulls Peter to the side over there. "Hey, let me walk you down the street. We're gonna go over there to the temple of Zeus." So they go sit in the pews of the temple of inside the temple of Zeus. Peter, I was thinking about starting my own church. You see, I got these keys and I want to give them to you. I got them from the devil and I want to give them to you. I'm gonna give you the keys. He gives Peter the keys, and then what does he say right after that? Anyway, let me just read it. Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the things of God, but the things of men." Remember, Peter means rock. You're very earthly. What did the minister tell you just a minute ago? Well, probably like 15 minutes ago. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone would come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." He was talking real greasy as soon as you made this man the janitor, the superintendent, the custodial manager. This is according to Massachusetts. This is according to MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In addition to that, because remember, right now, where are we at? Peter is Satan. This is where we're at. Peter is crucified upside down. Peter was crucified upside down because he felt unworthy to die in the same manner as Jesus did, which really to me don't make no sense. Because if you go and look, the thief on the left-hand side was crucified like Jesus. What was the other dude on the other side of Jesus? Who was that? Jeffrey Epstein? Family, y'all better not pay me no mind. I'm just joking. Obviously, it was not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just saying it was two other dudes, just regular dudes. They got crucified just like Jesus did, and they weren't disciples. They weren't apostles. But now Peter talking about, I don't want to do it the way Jesus did it. I want to do it the opposite. You did that because you the demon, you the devils. You created the church, the synagogue of Satan. We know who you are. Jesus told your followers, I know who your father is. This comes from the early Christian writings, notably from the church fathers like Origen and later sources. When he was sentenced to crucifixion in Rome, Peter requested to be crucified upside. They didn't, hey, you know what? We're going to crucify you upside down. This ain't Burger King. You can't have it your way. Peter asked for that. That was a special request. He wanted to be buried, crucified upside down like a demon. According to the cross of St. Peter, it reads, the cross of St. Peter, also known as the Petrine cross. Let me get this Crumb TV thing out the way because I can't see the words. As an inverted Latin cross traditionally used as a Christian symbol, but in recent times, it has also been used as an anti-Christian and satanic symbol. In Christianity, it is associated with the martyrdom of St. Peter. Family, press 666 if the upside down cross is traditionally known as satanic. Press 666 if the upside down cross is known as satanic. If you see that upside down cross, you automatically think Satan. Well, next time you see that upside down cross, you better think Peter. Minister, did you want to add anything or shall I continue? What say ye?
I think I said this a little while ago about the actual cross. I'm talking about the actual cross people see on top of church steeples and at the Calvary churches, whatever churches, just in public, out in public. You can pull up a random church anywhere. Google, I don't know, some random church. Let me show you guys something about this cross also, because there's another image that people are thinking that is a cross. And I'm going to show you what this symbol is because there's different variations. There's the pious cross also, which is like the X on top of the little P symbol. That's mostly what Constantine was putting out. It is time. So if we look at right there in the left corner, any of them really looks like an actual church situation. Let you guys something real quick. And this is something that I meant to do a while ago, a presentation on these symbols on church, because you guys know that there's a little orb or a bowl under these crosses also that represents something totally different. So, but we have to study those crosses. Like he's showing you the cross, upside down cross, which represents Peter actually. And we say, no, it represents Satan. Yeah, because he's associated with being Satan. That's the association of the paradox we're trying to teach you guys right now between who Peter is and who Satan is, and the conversation between Jesus and Satan. And Jesus got the keys from Satan, and Jesus gave the keys over to Peter. But we also know, according to Corinthians 4:4, that Satan rules this planet. And Jesus says also later in the Bible that I am not from here. I'm from above, you're from below. So there's a separation of the two. Now, here's a question before I go further. Can Satan go to heaven? He can. He just can't reside there. He went there several times. He can go there anytime he wants to go there because he is of the angelic body of the Most High. He is one of the created sons of the Most High. See, the five creator sons, that's Michael and Gabriel and Israfel and Gabriel and Michael and all those jokers, right? See, Satan is not a part, or Lucifer is not a part of those five. He was like God's personal pet project. And if you go on and you read about a man by the name of, it's not Isaiah the prophet. What's his name? I think his name in a second. But there's two stories told. One about the cherubim. One told about the seraphim. Okay, and I think it's Isaiah. He bears witness of who sits on the left-hand side of the throne of God, and it's Satan. So I'm giving you guys the backdrop to tell you when we show you this information that there's substance to it, there's evidence to it, there's historical facts behind it also, biblical theology behind it. So now, back to the cross. That cross is actually a sword. That's a sword that you see for the Christian church. That's a sword. That's why the cross itself is so far to the top. And show a picture of the sword. And the sword represents a lot. It's a sword of truth. It's the same sword that Christ said he has. He's coming with a flaming sword. See, that's what you see right there. It's not a cross, that's a sword. There it is. Because that's the same thing that Constantine, who we're talking about right now, remember Constantine? When he said, in hoc sec novens, and this sign, the sign of this sword, we shall conquer. That's why the word conquer is mentioned. The conquesting. This is Christendom. This is Christendom. And this sign we shall conquer. And you see that same cross or that sword going through the crown. And see, that's the pious cross. See right there? That symbol right there is a sword going through a crown representing the kingdom of the Catholic Church. I yield the floor, bro.
Well said. Very, very well said. And family, let me just confirm to you what the minister gave you was the very, very, very abridged version. He could do a 1 hour measure on these crosses very easily. But I digress. Absolutely. Yes, that's all wise, right, exact. So now this upside down cross, that's the what you call the cross of Satan, but what everybody else calls the cross of Saint Peter. The Etruscans. Let's get into this part because when we're dealing with Satan, when we're dealing with all of these spooky things, it's not very spooky, to be honest with you. The Etruscans were the original black inhabitants of Italy. They fathered, I mean, that should be a they. They fathered the religion and culture that later proliferated in that land. Um, Let me just check something out real quick. I want to make sure that if anybody has requested this PowerPoint that I give it to you. If anybody has requested, okay, nobody's requested it. No problem. All right, cool. But if you want the PowerPoint, it's in the community tab for members only. But yeah, they fathered the religion and culture that later proliferated in that land. So, according to the Smithsonian Magazine, in an article titled "Where Did the Ancient Etruscans Come From?" it reads, "Before the glory of Rome." Um, I thought I didn't see nobody request access. Old boy said he did. Can you can you find it and give it everybody access who requested it? Sorry about that, family. Before the glory of Rome, the Etruscans ruled much of what is now Italy. Some of Rome's first kings were from Etruria, and Etruscans may have founded the city-state that would dominate much of the known world for centuries. The Etruscans depicted themselves with enormous phalluses. Now, of course, for YouTube, I covered it, but the original PowerPoint has no um, censorship. And these are the Etruscans, and you're gonna see that they depicted themselves like this one dude. I didn't cover it because hopefully YouTube doesn't pick up on it. But like, dude is wearing a phallus hat. He's wearing like a penis hat. This is crazy. This is Ashra Kwasi. Anyway, so yeah, the name Tuscany comes from the Latin because right now there's a place called Tuscany. Right now, to this day, the name Tuscany comes from the Latin Tuscanus, meaning belonging to the Tusci. The Tusci, also known as the Etruscans, were an ancient people who lived in the area that is now Tuscany. The Etruscans established the first major civilization in the region. The phallus, because we know these Etruscans who were there before the Romans. So, Crumb, why are they doing this whole thing with these big Johnsons, these big eggplants? Well, here's the answer. The focus on the phallus magnifies the intimate relationship between life and death. Because remember, we're dealing with the whole Satanism and Peter being dead and blah, blah, blah. Upon death, the male body experiences one last erection. It's called a death erection. Press 777 if you never heard of this. I assume everybody's going to, maybe somebody already knows about it. If you already know about it, drop an eggplant emoji. If you don't, press 777. I'm going to press 777. Well, I kind of already did know about it. I'm going to drop the eggplant. Press 777 if you did not know about it. If you already knew about it, drop the eggplant emoji. I assume nobody other than me is going to drop the eggplant emoji because I'm a nerd who just researches random stuff. Death erection. A death erection, angel lust, rigor erectus, or terminal erection is a post-mortem erection, technically a priapism observed in the corpse of men who have been executed, particularly by hanging. Minister of Information, do you remember when Dr. Francis Cress Welsing told us the lynching era was also the what do you call it when you cut somebody's eggplant off? What's that called again? Castration. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, hold on. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, the lynching era was the castration era. I can't find it. But Minister, do you remember Dr. Francis Cress Welsing saying that? No worries, no worries at all. He has a family. Please be mindful. But yes, this is Dr. Frances Cress Welsing right here, and she was the one who told you the lynching era was also the castration era. Because when they lynched these men, they had this big, super giant member, and upon being lynched, it would get rock hard and make them feel inferior, so they cut it off. The lynching era was the castration era. That's the part they don't tell you. So now, yes, with that said, um, upon the death, Jesus had one last erection as he was hung. I was talking to Skynet. Hey, what's new? According to the Bible, Jesus was hung. Jesus was lynched. He wasn't crucified on a cross, he was lynched on a tree, a piece of wood, and was described in Acts 5:30, Acts 10:39, and Acts 13:29. This phrase refers to Deuteronomy 21, chapter 21, verses 22 through 23, which prohibits displaying the body of an Israelite who was convicted of a capital crime overnight on a tree, not a cross, a tree. Remember, we're dealing with uh, Druidism. Druidism is the worship of sacred trees. Go back to Genesis chapter 3, verse 22. For man has become like one of us. We got to, you found it? I'll, I'll give y'all access after the PowerPoint. Please forgive me. Um, Yeah, Druidism is dealing with these trees. It goes on to read. Some say that Jesus hanging on a tree was a demonstration of the uh, coven, covenantal curse that rested on him for the sake of humanity. The apostle Paul states in Galatians 3:13 that Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who is hanged on a tree. Why was Jesus a black man? Because they lynched him. Why is this important? Because when people get hung from a tree, they get one last erection. Crumb, see, I told you, you guys are cray cray. Y'all be saying anything. Family, what if I told you the Catholic priest, let me remove this thing because it keeps getting in the way. Catholic priest stuns worshipers by telling them Christ had an erection when he died on the cross in shocking Easter Sunday. Why on Easter? Why on the day of Ishtar? Because that's the day of fertility. A Catholic priest confirmed this during an Easter sermon. Note, Easter is the season for fertility, spring. Springtime, everything is reborn. Remember, King Tut was mummified with an erect penis. Now this is according to theindependent.com. The ancient Egyptian pharaoh was buried with an erect penis, no heart, and covered in black oils to make him appear as the god Osiris, the new study claims. Washington Post, Arthur says Jesus was really King Tut. King Tut was lynched. I don't care what nobody say. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. King Tut was lynched. King Tut was the son of God, who was Akhenaten, Pharaoh Akhenaten. King Tut, uh, when he got lynched, he got a hard on. I'm not making this up. I'm not going to go through the whole thing about that part of the story because we're going to stick to St. Peter. But one day I'll explain it. Question. This is according to HMOLpedia 2020 in an article titled "The General Diaphragm Illustrated that the obelisk dot dot dot." Question: what does the obelisk represent in Osiris? The obelisk is still recognized as Osiris slash Nimrod's phallus, his sex organ of reproduction. One wonders why there was a huge obelisk in Washington, D.C. and one at the Vatican. Remember, the Vatican is built on top of the gravesite of St. Peter. There are obelisks in just about every important city and in every nation of the earth. There is an obelisk. There's a penis. Talking to Skynet. Yes, the statement most obelisks are found in cemeteries is accurate. Due to the popularity of Egyptian inspired design in the 19th century, obelisks became a common type of gravestone monument, taking cemeteries, the place where most obelisks are found today. This whole thing about the death erection, it goes back to Osiris. Remember, Osiris was the king of the black. They gave King Tut a hard penis and they covered him in black oil to represent Osiris. And then they because this is the grave of King Tut, the grave of Jesus, the grave of Peter. Let me just breathe. I've said a lot. Minister, did you want to tap in? No worries at all. No worries at all. He's a busy man. Put some respect on his name.
Nah, I'm here, bro. What was your question? I'm sorry.
I was just I was saying a lot. I wanted to breathe, and if you wanted to kind of chime in, I wanted to open up the floor.
Oh no, you fine. Continue.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I'm lying. So on the obelisk, that thing on the top of it, that capstone, which is called a cornerstone. That's the part that the light came out of with Osiris. It's called a Ben, or the son of a son, something like that. That's what Dr. York was teaching. The very cap part of the obelisk, and I don't think it's called an obelisk. I think his real name is something else. But that top portion, that capstone, was called a Ben, yeah. And that's the part that's missing from the supposed American pyramid, is the light, the true seed of the sperma from Osiris.
And the actual penis ejaculates light. Sperm is light.
Did you on that a while ago? Did you measure on that a while ago? I think I remember that. I think
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
And just to be 100% clear, this measure, we did it with inside of another video. Just like the measure that the minister just did about the sword. Imagine if the minister goes back, creates a whole PowerPoint, or not a PowerPoint, but just a measure, any type of lecture, and he just goes over the swords. And y'all be like, didn't the minister do something about swords before? Yeah, but it was just like a little sidebar snippet inside of this video. And the way we're doing this video started out as a sidebar snippet in another video. So a lot of times we do that. That's just how the minister and I get down. We'll just kind of throw a side note out there, and then later on we'll elaborate on that thing and make it the main point at a later point in time. But yes, the minister is all wise, right, and exact. That very pointy thing at the very top of the obelisk is a bin. So yeah, absolutely. That's all wise, right, and exact. Oh yeah, and the sperm is 19.5% spinal fluid. I'm not going into that right now. Anyway, so yeah, the gravestone making cemeteries the place where most obelisks would be found. Most of these death erections, family, men only. Press 888 if you understand. When Crumb transitions, because I'm not going to be buried, but wherever I put my memorial at, there's going to be a very big, long, girthy obelisk there. A very big, long, girthy obelisk with a hell of a curve in it. I'm just being funny. But nonetheless, yes. Just to give you an idea of what the obelisk is. Vatica. Crumb, what does this got to do with St. Peter? I'm getting there. I'm about to close it out, but I'm getting there. Etruscan goddess Vatica, let me move this thing. It is always in the way. Etruscan goddess Vatica of the underworld. The name Vatican is a true mystery. It has nothing to do with the Bible. The word Vatican is not in the Bible. Nothing to do with Greek. Vatican is not a Greek word. It's not a Latin word. Like many other, because remember, the Etruscans had their own language. They didn't speak Roman, Greek, Hebrew. They had their own language. Like many other Christian traditions and customs, the name we associate with the church has a pagan origin. Remember, church is dealing with the circus. Church is dealing with the circus. Y'all don't want to, church is dealing with the circus. Church is dealing with a circle. Church is dealing with the ring. This is the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I don't want to go there today. And again, the minister already did a measure on that. But anyway, I was talking to Skynet, what's new? And Skynet says, yes, the Catholic Encyclopedia states that the origin of the name Vatican is uncertain. However, there are several theories about the origin of the name. One being, and this is the first one, an Etruscan town. The name may come, because this is in Tuscany, the Etruscan town may come from the Etruscan town of Vaticum, which was located in the area that the Romans called Ager, Vaticanus, or Vatican territory. The Etruscans, they worshipped Vatica. Now this is according to study.com in an article titled Etruscan Mythology. Question: Who are the Etruscans? Who are the Etruscan goddesses? And right under Etruscan goddess, it says Vatica. Attributes associated with the underworld, associated with birth and fertility. So you got this female in the underworld associated with birth and fertility around all of these big, hard stone penises. And the Etruscans, including King Tut, they were all depicted with these very big penises. Let me stop before I get in trouble. But this is for educational purposes only. I'm not trying to be lewd. And this is also with Osiris, with the whole penis thing. I digress. The Etruscans didn't bury their dead inside the walls of their cities. Instead, they built a large cemetery on the hill slope outside of their ancient city in the area that later became the city of Rome. The area, which is now St. Peter's Basilica, thus became known as the Vatican. So let's be clear on this. The Vatican was not only built on the grave site of St. Peter, it was built on an actual cemetery / an actual graveyard / an actual necropolis or a mausoleum. So I was talking to Skynet, and Skynet confirmed it. Yes, the Vatican Hill was once home to a burial ground called the Vatican Necropolis. Necro means dead, opolis means city, the city of the dead, which is now located beneath Vatican City. Vatican City is built on the city of the dead. It's built on a graveyard. It's built on a cemetery. It's built on a mausoleum, whatever you want to call it. Inside the Vatican, there's a 66-foot wide sculpture of Jesus rising from a nuclear fallout in the Vatican auditorium. This is where the Pope makes his announcements when there's inclement weather that's stopping him from giving his official announcements inside. Well, I'm sorry, at the mouth of the St. Peter's Basilica. And if you look at this particular sculpture, which is 66 feet wide, Jesus looked creepy in this picture. And this nuclear fallout, I don't get it. It looks a little bit like it's not something godly or heavenly, but that's the Vatican for you, because it is built on a cemetery. Happy Halloween. The Vatican is adorned with its very own obelisk. Remember, this is buried on the body of St. Peter. Now, St. Peter was buried crucified upside down. So I don't know how his erection, how that worked for him. But either way, the Vatican has its very own obelisk, which we know is a penis, which is inside a circular vagina. Now, Crumb. Now, Crumb, You reaching, Crumb. I know the obelisk is a penis, but you saying that circular thing around the obelisk is a vagina? Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. The circular architecture, being a vagina, is in line with the intimate death theme, as Vatica is the origin of the word vagina. Now, Crumb, you know I be researching you, and I researched that. The origin of vagina is not Vatica. Hold on, family. History Mysteries, which is actually Historic Mysteries, Etruscan goddess Vatica. Vaginatus later became the Latin word vagina, according to History Mystery. And if that's not good enough, which I'm sure it shouldn't be, never forget, I always told you, not only is the D the same letter as T, the letters C, K, and G are all interchangeable. Can somebody type that in the comments for me, please? The letters C, K, and G are all interchangeable. Never forget. Look at the word caracuco, carousel. Look at that C. The C has a little loop on it at the bottom. It has a little squiggly line. That C, press 999 if the C looks like a G almost with that little squiggly line on it. Look at the letter C in the top right-hand corner. It has a little squiggly line on it. If the C looks like a G to you, press 999. Um, wait, what's the name of that C again? Carousel. Can also be spelled carousel with a K or Garacel with a G. The C, the K, and the G are all interchangeable. And it says carousel can be spelled with the K and the G if we're making those substitutions. Are you looking for a specific? Well, I was talking to Chat GPT on this one. You know, Chat GPT be getting on my nerves, but anyway, that got the point across. I don't deal with Chat GPT, Crumb. I don't deal with History Mystery, Crumb. Never forget, Malcolm X told you the C, the J, I'm sorry, the C, the G, and the K are interchangeable. Minister, do you remember this picture? No worries, no worries, no worries. Negro, necro, and necro are all the same word. Malcolm X told you that. Remember, how did Malcolm X? Oh, there he is. Minister,
Okay, go ahead.
are you familiar with the C, the K, and the G being the same letter?
The C, the K. No, I'm looking at this shit now, so it look crazy. But I wouldn't doubt it if he's going from like Spanish to like Latin to something else. You have to look up the etymology or the origin of the word first, and it probably take you through all the languages, probably just different languages. But I've never heard that before though.
Yes. So now I was talking with Amp Smoke. He says when this is in a previous video, when Juju mentions necromancy and he calls it negromancy, I wanted to share with those who may not know, but in the Greek alphabet, the letters G, C, and K are interchangeable, and it doesn't change the meaning of the word. So necro, and negro all mean the same thing. Food for thought. So Juju comes back and he says, facts, just as in Dracon, Dracon, and Dragon. A Dracon is a dragon. Oh, Crumb, the Draconians. What are you talking about? The dragons? Yeah, them. Yeah, the C, the K, and the G are all interchangeable. So now when you go back and look at Vatica and vagina, well, no, Crumb, that's V. That got a K. Yeah, the K and the G are the same letter. Same girl. I can't help but sing that song. Shout out to R. Kelly and Usher. Usher going down. Usher next. For what Usher did to Justin Bieber, he getting locked up. I digress. Let me get back on topic. Vatica was the goddess of the underworld, and it is her duty to keep a watching eye on those who had passed away. The Etruscans' belief about the afterlife were similar to the ancient Egyptians. So yeah, that's all I had for you, Minister. The occult Bible study, Saint Peter and Satan. It was all based on Vatica. It was all based on the Etruscans, and how the Romans amalgamated their new school belief system with all of the old stuff that they got before. I'm sorry, that they got from the people who came before them, which were the Etruscans, and the Etruscans, their thing is basically Egyptian. But
Damn.
With that said, please, Minister, what are your thoughts about this whole Saint Peter and Satan thing?
I wish we would have had this PowerPoint when we had the conversation with the Catholic dude, because I feel like I was trying to go with him with straight facts and information. He was standing firm on his belief, which is fine. But I think it was a real dope measure though. Everything we talked about tonight, they wrote it down. Go take a look at it, do some research on it, man. And we should circle back with like a part two, a follow up.
Yeah, I think that would be dope. I think maybe the next one we can go into the crosses, because I know you kind of really just lightly skimmed over that, but that measure is a lot deeper than what people may realize. So we probably need to put that one on the to-do list as well. So I want to let everybody know, as you know, we do have the Minister of Information. Go to his TikTok. Go to his TikTok, not now, but right now. Go to his TikTok and tap all the way in. Let me see if I can. Let me share. Where view Minister? There he is, right there. 25 people. We're just looking for 25 people. Tap in with them over
Almost
on
4K, man. Almost 4K. Just need 25 more people to tap in with me on my TikTok, and then I'm going for 10,000 subscribers, so I can do some other cool stuff on the TikTok studio. But tap in with me. A lot of information over there on TikTok. That's why I really don't even go live no more, because it's like I don't say it between my TikTok and Instagram. I don't say a lot of shit. I don't like repeating information.
Absolutely. So with that, Minister, before I let you go, can you tell the family who you are and where we can find you at?
Definitely come over to that TikTok right there. First of all, the Minister of Information, the THE, over TikTok, and of course on Crumb TV. I just need 25 more people. Please, y'all, rock with me. Please, I'm begging.
The minister does not disappoint, family. When I tell you he's jumping like Jordan from the 3-point line, from the 3-point, he might be from half court. He might be doing it from half court. So yeah, tap all the way in. Also on his YouTube channel, Minister of Information, smash that subscribe button over there as well. Put some respect on his name. Family, I also want to reiterate for the family who has taken the $10, let's go with $10 for tonight, the $10 challenge, because that seems to be what it is. Hey Rue, Duke of Tears. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry, excuse me. Hey Rue, the Duke of the Great Lakes, please forgive me. Put some respect on his name. Thank you so much for the support. I see you, I love you, I appreciate you. Curtis, I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm grateful. D Calico, that's my man, 100 grand. Ladera, I got some choice words for that girl. She's so cute. DK Double D. I'm grateful. I'm honored. So if you want to support family, I am grateful for that. That's Crumb TV 1. They took my old Cash App. Crumb TV 1 is the new Cash App. Please tap all the way in. This is for the building fund. Come on, church. Y'all know about the building fund. So with that said, I'm humbled, I'm grateful, I'm honored. But let me tell you what I'm not. I am not Pastor Pork Chop. That's what I'm not. So if you want to support Smack, I don't care where you're watching from, family, hit the like button. Please, please, please. It's free. It's easy. It takes a second. It works with the algorithm. It's just one click. So many great reasons. Also, comment, family. Is there something about Saint Peter that we did not cover? Something that points out that he's the Satan, or maybe you want to disagree with me. And hey, to my critics and detractors, you're welcome as well. Either way, comment. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. We are at, I think, 4,000 new subscribers. We're 400 from 50,000. We're 400 subscribers from 50,000. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Crumb TV. I want to leave you the exact same way I came to you. I am your humble brother Crumb, and you are now watching Crumb TV. Peace.
You are now watching Crumb TV.
You're watching Crumb TV.
This is Prema Osset in Los Angeles, Leimert Park, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
You are watching Crumb TV.
And we're watching Crumb TV.
You are now watching Crumb TV. So subscribe.
I am the Grand Sheikess, Unity Temple number 80, More Science Temple of America, and you are watching Crumb TV.
Yo, this is that kid 179. You're now watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV.